my mother. Because no mother should witness her son go through this pain. Mom, John's going to need you now because he's dependent on me. I've been a support system. But you guys, be there for one another. It's the cry of love. God loved so much that even in dying, wants to make sure that everything has been taken care of. Jesus breathes in again, but each time becomes more difficult. He spits out blood as he says, my God, why? Have you ever had a moment where you've had to ask God why? Have you ever said that I didn't think it was going to go down like this? I really didn't have expectations of how it was going to end, but my God, can you hear me? Why? Because if I can just get an answer sometimes to why, I can handle it. I can deal with it. Why have you forsaken me? It's the cry of separation. Because he understands that his Father God cannot have any dealings with sin. So Jesus now taking on the sins of the world. His Father has to say, I'm with you. I have your back. I'm going to bring you through it, but got to temporary disconnect from you. But it's all right. I've already placed everything in you that you need to come through this difficult moment. Jesus then says, I thirst. His tongue is starting to stick to the top of his mouth. Blood is starting to drop. The weight is beginning just to drop on the nails. Jesus he says it faintly, but you can hear him. I thirst. The one that says, I'm everlasting. Water. Now thirst. The one that told the lady from Samaria, I'll give you a drink. It will make you not thirsty ever again. Now, the irony is, he says, I thirst. The one that took water, turned it into wine, now says, I thirst. So they don't give him water. No. They're filled with venom, hatred. It's a bitter drink they bring to his mouth. Jesus, all I've done for you, now this is how you treat me. The pain feels his chest starting to tighten up. It is finished. It's the cry of completion. My purpose is fulfilled. It doesn't look like it right now, but I'm in the beginning stages of victory. Amen. It doesn't look like it right now. I know this is a messy scene here, but this is the beginning stages of victory. Yeah. Why don't you just tell somebody, I know it may not look like it right now, but in my life right now, I'm in the beginning stages of victory. I've lost blood, I've shed tears, and I've lost some flesh along the way, but I'm in the beginning stages of victory. It's almost over now. And so one last time, earlier I said, Father, you forsaken me. I was wrong. Father, Into your hands I commit my spirit.
Yes.
It's the cry of commitment. Because Jesus understands that if I've got to go through what I have to go through, I have to make sure I'm in God's hand.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I'll come through this. It's the only way I'll survive. It's the only way I'll get up with all power in my hand. Somebody here this morning needs to be reminded that if you have to go through life woes, if you have to go through life torment, if you have to go through life pain, if you have to deal with life disappointments every now and then, I know you'd much rather not go through it, but if you can just remind yourself that if I'm in God's hand, I'm in the safest place. If I'm in God's hand, I can come through this pain. If I'm in God's hand, weeping may endure for a season, but joy is going to come in the morning. If I'm in God's hand, victory shall be my Father. Into your hands, I commit my spirit. No wonder then Isaiah 53:5 said he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. But by his stripes, I'm healed. And so that Jesus is now stretched east to west. It's not a pretty picture. It looks like it's old. He bows his head. And I can hear those in the crowd begin to mock and say, I told you he was a fraud. I told you he was a phony. I told you not to put your faith in him. I told you he would disappoint you. I told you don't buy into all this talk. I told you he was just a temporary miracle worker. I told you it was just tricks. I told you it was just games he was playing. I told you he was just playing on your emotions. It's over. Mary, she's fighting back the tears. John wraps his arm around and says, Mom, it's going to be all right. So now, disciples rapidly approach because they're so holy. So we can't leave them up there on the Sabbath. We've got to take him down, go break his legs. They go to Jesus. They get ready to break his leg that is stuck. The Bible is still being fulfilled and no bones would be broken on him. But they want to make sure he's dead, so they take the spear, they jab him in his side. They jab him in his side. They have an upward motion that punctures the bottom of his heart. Blood and water comes out, symbolizing that it's over. They laugh, begin to mock him and say, we showed him. But Joseph comes along and says, this family didn't have time to plan for a burial. They didn't have time to go out to the local cemetery and get their property ahead of time. They need a tomb, and so I have one that's never been used. He can have it. Says, Pilate, can I at least have his body? Take down, give it somewhat of a decent burial, and Pilate, do what you wish. Joseph takes the body down, begins to wrap it in linen cloth. He puts him inside the tomb, rolls the stone in front. And Pilate says, now, I'm worried about those that run with me. I don't want them to come back and roll the stone away and take his body and say that he's resurrected. So I tell you what to do, call the armed forces. Call the Army, call the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the National Guards, and the Reserve, and tell them code red, put them on watch out, and station them at the tomb and make sure that no funny business go on. Because I did hear something about him 3 days. He was going to get up again, but we won't have any of that. So they place him down in the tomb, and the guards have been stationed there all Friday night. It looks dark. All Friday night, it's a sad picture. Sunday comes around, everybody's going to synagogue. Everybody is going to church because it's the Sabbath, and they're headed to church, not even aware that Jesus is no longer in the building. Headed to church to do business, headed to church to do service as normal, not even realizing that the Savior of the world is not going to be there. So they pass by and they go to the synagogue, they go to church, they go to chapel, and they say, oh, what a wonderful time we've had today. Not even realizing that the Savior of the world has been entombed. It's a long day. It's a long Friday. It's a long Saturday. It's been a long. And there Jesus is. It's not a pretty picture. But I have some good news for you. I have some good news for you. And the good news is that it's Saturday night. But I have some good news for you. We've got to leave him here so he can go into the underworld and conquer death and hell. But I have some good news for you. Mary's still going to cry some more tears, but I have some good news for you. The disciples going to scatter all over town, but I have some good news for you. And the good news is that ain't no need to worry, but the night's going to bring. It will be all over in the morning. And that's where I want to stop you. I know we're going to rush to Sunday and get them up so we can celebrate, but can I tell somebody that sometimes Sunday morning don't come fast enough? I wish we could get through this pain and just say, he gets up and now it's a process he has to go through, but I have some good news. I know you may be dealing with something this morning and you wish you could just bat your eyes, you wish you could just clap your hands, you wish you could just jump up, down 3 times, you wish you could just spin around, you wish you could just give your tithes and your offering, you wish you could just say one last prayer and all the pain is over, but sometimes after you've prayed, sometimes after you've jumped up and down, sometimes after you've shouted, the pain still has to go through this process, but I have some good news for you this morning. And the good news is that Sunday morning is just around the corner. And so the wine is right, ain't no need to worry what the night is going to bring. It's going to be all over in the morning.